In order to factor this problem, the first thing we're going to look for is we're going to look for anything that we can factor out of every single term. That is, what can we divide all four terms by? So in this case, that means I'm going to be looking at 30x to the 11th, the 45x to the 5th, 35x, and the 5. Now the first thing I notice as I take a look at these is that the 5 does not have an x in it. So I know that I'm not going to be able to pull any x's out of every term. So then I'm just focusing on the numbers themselves, 30, 45, 35, and 5. And I'm saying, what can I divide each of those by? In this case, I can divide them all by 5. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to divide them all by 5. When I do that, 30x to the 11th, 30 divided by 5 gives me 6. And so that's going to be 6x to the 11th. I'm not doing anything with x's, so the x's are not going to change. Minuses and plus between the terms all stay exactly the same. Now I'm doing 45 divided by 5. That gives me 9. So that's 9x to the 5th. Plus 35 divided by 5. That's 7. So that's going to be 7x. And then minus, that still has to be there. And sometimes we are tempted to forget about this 5 because we're taking off everything on the end. But it still has to be there. 5 divided by 5 gives us 1, so that still has to be included. Now, I just divided everything through by 5. This still has to be equal to the same thing. So I'm going to put parentheses around this, and then I'm going to multiply it all by the 5 out front. This way we're showing what we divided everything through by. It also keeps it equivalent, because you'll notice if I were to distribute that 5 back into the parentheses, I would get what I started with. That means it is correctly factored. Now the last thing you want to check here is you want to check and see, is there anything else that can factor out? That'll tell you if you got out the biggest factor, which is what we're always looking for. So again, I look at the 6, the 9, the 7, and the 1. Definitely there's nothing that comes out of all 4 of those, so that one's done.